record, just in case I say anything interesting enough to write down. So so if you're sending LinkedIn messages, this is the point. If you're sending LinkedIn messages and everyone else, or most of everyone else, is sending messages, then how are you going to make your messages stand out? What's going to be so good about your messages? And that's a fair point. Now, some people are fantastic at writing content. I have to say that's probably not me. That's not I can do it, but I wouldn't say it was my number one skill. And so if it is your number one skill, then maybe that's your way of standing out. However, so they do say, I don't know if you, feel free to challenge me on this, by the way, but I believe that different is better than better. Okay, so if that sort of translates at all, so you can have one LinkedIn message which is really articulate, and another LinkedIn written message which is really articulate as well. How do you compare what's whether one's better than the other? It's not easy. But if you've got a LinkedIn message and something that is different, which is a LinkedIn audio message, i.e. like a voicemail, or even better, I think, a video message, then what's going to stand out? And I am guessing the thing that's different is going to stand out. Let's assume that you want to contact a senior person in one of your target companies, if you like. So Natalia, it would be for a business relatively local to you in Sheffield, I suspect. Mehdi, you'll have an account list, I would imagine, doing what you do. If you want to contact someone, you can send them a LinkedIn message by all means, but you'll be one of many that is sending a LinkedIn message. Similarly, for Chris, I've got to believe, oh, there we go, Iris. I've got to believe, yeah, we've got to do something to stand out. That's the point. Excuse me. So I figured, and I didn't want to tell you this up front because no one would have joined, but so I figured today it would be good fun. And as we've got a small group, I hope you're going to feel comfortable in doing this. But I figured we'd record a LinkedIn video message. Now, at least one of you is going to be really uncomfortable doing that. And I absolutely recognize that. So you may not want to record your video message. Iris, welcome, by the way. You may not want to record your video message on this call, but what I'd like to do at the very least is give you a bit of a flow on how I think it should go. And I would love, if you're comfortable posting it to LinkedIn, and I would understand that because not everyone is, by all means send it to me. I'll give you some feedback. Does that sound okay? We have just formed an upfront contract, by the way. That's another, we have just formed an upfront contract. If I do this, will you do that? That's one. I love that. Anyway, so what I thought I'd do is, I didn't really do any slides for today, but I did do a lot of prep just in case you thought I was coming into this kind of cold. So I am going to go to my LinkedIn feed, which is around about here. There you go. And I'm going to share my screen. So you should see my LinkedIn profile come up now. So I'm going to share sound. I've done that. So I am going to, can you see my profile photo here? Yep, right, just here. Now, if I click on that, then and press profile video, you should be able to hear, after a couple of seconds, you should be able to hear something from me. Here we go.
You might need to enable your sound when you shared, Keith. Sorry, just before you shared your computer, you might have needed to enable sound.
I thought I'd done that actually. The sound says I share sound. Ah, okay. Right. Shall I start that again? Apologies. I thought I'd already done that. Hi there, and thanks for landing on my profile. I'm Keith Rozelle. I'm a B2B sales trainer and mentor. I've worked with some really big companies in the past, but also some smaller tech companies that you may not have heard of. And I've been hundreds of % on my target on numerous occasions. And on 2 occasions, I was over 1,000% of target. And I want to help you and your team do exactly the same. So DM me here and let's chat. Okay, right. So that was something I kind of did just right off the bat. So what I'd like to do, excuse me, if it's going to be okay with you, is I'm going to give you a bit of a flow, a bit of a structure that we can talk to about that. And for everyone. There we go. That's good. Give you a flow of a structure. Now, it'll be fantastic if you are comfortable recording something now and playing it back. If you'd like to do something offline and send it to me, then that would be okay as well. So depending on how brave you're sort of feeling. If nothing else, though, what I'm going to do is everyone got a pen and paper, or at least something to type or something like that with? Anyone got that? Okay, right. 1 second for Iris. Let me just bring up my my notes that I did do some prep earlier. There we go. There's the flow. Right. Brilliant. So, Mishdi, have you ever sent a video message before on LinkedIn?
No.
Excellent. Okay, good. I am guessing, Natalia, you haven't done this either. Good. Chris, is this something you use?
Yeah, I will definitely send video. I have a video on my profile, and also go onto Vidyard and record it on that, so that then I can see when people have clicked and opened it. So I'm active video person. Yes.
Fantastic. And okay, so I haven't got the monopoly of knowledge on this. So I'm open to any sort of suggestion. If you've got anything that kind of works for you, by all means, give us a shout. But here's a sort of flow that works for me. Let me just so if you just hark your mind back to the video I just played, which is on my LinkedIn, you can only record it, if I remember correctly, Chris, you can only record that on your mobile phone. You can't do it on Zoom or anything like that. You have to record it via your phone. I have an iPhone. I'm sure if you've got an Android, who uses Android? Is that you, Mehdi? Do you use Android? Yeah, I thought so. But it'll be similar. So a couple of things that take place. So whatever buttons you have to press to get to the point where, and I'll record something separately if it would at all help. But whatever buttons you have to press, make sure you're looking into the sort of reverse camera lens on your phone. Now on my iPhone, there's a little green dot because you can't actually see the lens. It's almost too small for the eye. There's a little green dot that comes up on my phone, on my iPhone, that shows me exactly how to. Otherwise, it'll be you talking to someone like that, and it's not so engaging. If you look into the green dot, then it will look like this, and you're looking directly at the person. You'll be much more engaged, much more understood. Your message will be much better received. You'll connect. So that's an important point. So look in the camera lens. Then you want an intro, and the assumption I'm making is you don't know this person. You know you want to speak to them, but you don't know this person. You've never met before or anything like that. And so you are doing a cold introduction. And so you would literally say, hi, I'm Keith Rozelle, Sales Marvel. You'll say Mehdi, SCC, blah, 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 and it's 5 seconds long, if that. And then the message, why you're reaching out to that person, then your message, I'm looking for. So I might say my new sales masterclass is starting, and it is a bit like making a cold call. Well, actually, because you've got a target audience, you know that you want to speak to, but you suspect these people have been interested in the kind of service that you're providing. It's not really that cold a call. It's a relatively warm call, if you like. You know that they're in that business. The message should be of interest to them. The timing may not be there, that's different, but the actual message should be relevant to them because you've done your LinkedIn research already. Okay, now your total message should be 30 seconds, no more, because that's all people have. If you haven't got their attention within 30, you're not going to get their attention. And if people see a video from you and they know it only lasts 30 seconds, they have a much higher likelihood of listening to it and listening to all of it, because they know it's not going to go on forever. It's only going to last 30 seconds. Most people have 30 seconds, no matter how senior they are. So of that block of 30 seconds, first 5 or 6 is going to be you talking, not quite as if you're talking face to face, because you're talking over a video. And we did that session a couple of weeks ago about how to present over video. This is very similar. You're going to have to amp up. You're going to have to speak with a little more emphasis on your words to make sure that your message kind of gets through, because it's got to work through so many more sort of so much more stuff, let me call it that, in order to resonate with the other person, because we're on video, we're not face to face. So we'll call it chemistry. Then you've got about 20 seconds for your actual message. And your message is going to be something like my masterclass series. That's what I want to sell at the moment. Is so I want to direct people to that. You can decide whether you want to create awareness of your brand, of your profile, or whether you want to generate cold hard leads. In other words, it's a very hit and miss thing if you do want to do that. But if you just want to start building a relationship and it's a choice that you make, you could say, follow me on LinkedIn, or let's get together for a 15-minute chat just so we can learn a bit more about each other, or I'd love to talk to you about this subject. And that will be your call to action. Your message and your call to action will be DM me back. It will be when's best for you? Is there a date that I can call you? We can have a proper conversation about that, but a call to action. Otherwise, so you're sort of topping, you're middling, and you're tailing that message. It's a nice packaged message for people to work with, engage with, etc., etc. Okay. Chris, is there anything you want to add or take away from that? I'm putting you on the spot. I recognize that.
Yeah, I actually heard a really lovely phrase last week on Zoom Info, which was, show me you know me and teach me to reach me.
Well, I like the last one. I'm familiar with the first one. So teach me to reach. What did that mean to you?
So if I was prospecting in my world, I'd say, hey, Keith, it's Chris here from Salto. I'm just interested. We've just saved a chief procurement officer 1.2 million on their margin. And I'm just curious, if you'd like to find out more about that, then why don't we have a conversation?
Great. So there's a couple of things in there. So it wasn't just a message trying to sell services. There was a mini case study in there. It was only about 3 or 4 seconds long, but actually it didn't need to be any more than that. It was just saved 1.2 million. I think that's a great number. It's over 1 million. So people are going to switch on to that. We saved someone. If you want to know more about how we did that, I'd love to have a quick chat with you. That's a fantastic call to action.
Yeah, and I think if I had the opportunity, I'd find out who your competitors are that you would like to be part of and give you the social proof. So I could say, hey, Keith, I'm just curious. I know you work with Vodafone. we've just saved somebody who's in procurement at BT 1.2 million off their bottom line. Just curious, would that be of interest to you? Why don't you pitch me up? My link's in my message.
Yeah, that's a great shout. I wouldn't give the company name away. Sorry, Chris, I wouldn't give the company name away. I'd want some intrigue in there. So I might say another telco, big telco, global telco, and it's like, so it's relevant. You're kind of giving something away, but you're not giving all of it away. And that element of intrigue would likely get me to at least listen to the whole message. And if not, I would be, I'd be either having someone else interact with you, Chris, get in touch with you, one of my direct reports, go and talk to him, see what that's all about. That might be interesting. Or I'd give you a shout myself, but that would almost certainly tempt me into some sort of action. Okay, right. So now Mehdi's disappeared because I suspect his Wi-Fi has gone down. So I don't think he fell asleep anyway. So what I'm going to do now is I want you to at least write down. You're very welcome to say this out loud, prepare it. I want you to write down your intro. And by the way, if 5 seconds, which is what I talked about, we speak at an average. Does anyone know what our rate of speaking is? How many words per minute? 140. You can Google that afterwards if you want. 140, that's just over 2 words per second, speaking normally as I am, well, relatively normally as I am now. So 5 seconds, 10 words, not a lot, is it? But that's why all the sort of intellectual rigor goes up front. The engineering, if you like, in the conversation goes up front. You do all the research up front so that you can, what's that thing from Churchill? Churchill wrote a letter to a Labour peer at the end of the Second World War. He said, sorry about the length of this letter, but I didn't have enough time to write a shorter one, because it takes more effort, more thinking to condense your words down and write a pithier, say that when you're drunk, but to try, but anyway, I'm waffling now. But anyway, so 5 seconds, 10 words, that's all it is. So do you want to, I'm going to hammer through this, just write that down. So it's going to be, hi, I'm Natalia, I'm an accountant, something like that. And when you're ready, give me a shout. There we go. Right. Who wants to go first?
I'm sitting in the dark, so you thought I was upset.
Sounds like my career, Iris, always in the dark. There we go. Right. Okay. Right. So, is anyone comfortable reading out what they've got, or do you just want to move on to the next bit? I'd love it if you read out, because otherwise this is going to be a lecture, and who needs that?
Well, it's not rocket science, but anyway, I would start something with, hi, I'm Iris, the relocation specialist for Active Workplace Solutions.
Perfect.
Or I could put in office relocation specialist, just to make it more
Specific.
niche.
More niche, like that. So, and that's perfect. And that was just about 5 seconds. So, and so you're going to grab their attention, because that's exactly what we want to do. You've personalized it. You've got your name there. I mean, it'll come up anyway, but to say your name out loud is additional understanding and communication. Natalia, how are you doing?
I feel a bit weird, but it's fine. Hi, I'm Natalia. I'm an accountant, and I can help you to keep your costs down and profit up. They meet me if you want to know more.
Fantastic. You've gone into it already. All we needed was the first 5 seconds. Next bit we're going to work on is the message. So you're just your name, what you do, and actually Iris hit the nail on the head there with the office relocation. So it's very specifically what you do. So an accountant, Natalia, that might have been a little bit too broad. So an accountant and the particular kind of company that you work with, generally micro businesses or slightly larger SMEs, but I don't know, less than 40 people, something like that, but whatever it is. And then into the body of your message. Now we've got 20 seconds for this. 20 seconds times 2, 40 words. So, and then you're going to, so your message is, I want to talk to, I'm not going to give you your message, but it'll be something like, I want to talk to businesses who have less than 40 people, who are turning over between 100,000 and £500,000, something like that. Whatever it is for your business. I want to talk to big PLCs that spend 100 million quid on and above on stuff. Fair enough, just in case you're wondering, that's you, Chris. So you're grabbing their attention. You want them to be saying, because you've done your research, you're only approaching people that are fitting that bill anyway, and you are you're getting that, you're encouraging them all the time to keep listening to your message. And Chris gave a wonderful example as a case study. So if you have any case studies that you can just reference, you're not going to tell them the whole story. You're just going to say, do you remember we talked about benefits? We talked about help them sell more stuff, reduce their costs. And if you're, oh God, we'll let Pete in. Rather helping them sell more stuff or reducing their costs. If you can do a bit of both, fantastic. So Chris was saving his customer lots of money, £1.2 million. There's a specific number. That's fantastic too. That would be amazing. Hey, Pete, how are we doing?
I'm all right. Apologies. Several
Outrageous.
meetings ran on.
No, not at all, at all. We are just in the, you can play the recording back, Pete, afterwards. Just go with the flow for the next sort of few minutes or so, but we're writing out a pitch that we're going to deliver by video. So just bear with us where we are at the minute. So we talked about an intro, talking about the body of your message now. And if you've got a little case study, a mini case study of about 10 words, and Chris came out with a brilliant one. We just saved the company £1.2 million. We weren't going to give away the company name, but we decided we're not going to do that. We're going to, bit of intrigue. So we're going to say it's the telco, so they know it's relevant and specific. But we're not going to give the name away because we want them not just to listen to the message, we want them to act on the message, which is DM us, direct message us, set up a 15-minute Zoom call for us to have a quick chat. That's what we want to do. Okay, so in that time, sorry, Iris and Natalia. By the way, Pete is part of my networking group on Wednesday mornings, just in case. We can do the intros another time, Pete, if you don't mind. What was I saying? So if you've, Natalia, Iris, Pete, if you've got your own case studies of where you have saved the company money or helped them increase their sales, let's have 10 words about that. And then we're going to tail it off with our call to action. So, and it could be something like, if that's relevant to you, if that's something you'd be interested in hearing more about, message me back, have your assistant message me back, arrange a 15-minute Zoom or Teams. Actually, if you're selling into a corporate environment, it's almost certainly going to be Teams because of the Microsoft thing. Excuse me. And so you're going to have to make it sound like your business is used to dealing with that kind of market. So Natalia, yours and my company, we're generally working with SMEs, smaller companies, probably going to be Zoom. But if you're working with teams and larger companies, I'm guessing, Iris, that would be you, and Pete almost certainly, if you were the kind of firms that you deal with, probably going to be Teams. Same too with Chris. Universities, I've discovered, aren't very good at doing video anyway, but those that do video, I've discovered that most of them are on Zoom, which is kind of interesting. Okay, so does anyone want to give us a form of words? Doesn't need to be 20 seconds, but a form of words that sort of shows us what you do or what you'd like to speak to someone about, and ideally including a bit of a case study.
Okay, let's go for it. Okay, so after my introduction, I would suggest something like, I want to speak to office managers, facilities managers, people responsible for making a move a success. People responsible for making the move a success. We have dealt and successfully relocated every type of company, from banks to niche sport car manufacturers. On my side of things, my main role is to take the pain away from your move. So please DM me and tell me your wish list.
Okay, not bad.
Sacked, Keith.
You got everything in there. If I'm honest, Iris, there was almost too much. Not often I have to tell someone that. There was lots and lots in there. So this is a case of less is more, I think. You got, so yeah, so you first of all, you come across really well on video anyway. You've got quite a commanding voice, and that's of great comfort when you're going to be the project manager. When you're going to be the project manager, at least people want to know that you can kind of take control. So you gave out 3 different types of company there. There was a small niche sports car manufacturer. Was that something like
Sports car manufacturer and banks.
So now that's really interesting. But it might be because I'm a bloke and I really like cars. So, but that to me would prick my ears up when I hear something like that. It's much more interesting than Chris. Chris, with the greatest of respect, telcos are great, but you know, it's not that interesting. Small sports car companies, that's interesting to me. So that would, it depends who you're talking to, of course, but that would pique my interest, and I think, oh, that's interesting. That's what they do. Sounds niche, sounds specialist. They know what they're doing. So
I'm not a bloke and I still like cars.
Excellent. I'm sorry. That was
I'm
really
going to keep the car then.
that was really sexist of me. I'm going to be in so much trouble already. But anyway, the point was you gave a message which was aimed at or relevant to the person you're directing the message at. So that is, by all means, the most important thing. So I liked that, Iris. Let's, in the last couple of minutes now, so you've got your body of your message, you've got a mini case study of about 10 words in there. That's all you need. And then let's take 5 seconds, again, 10 words. What's the call to action? Now, we heard a couple of calls to action there, which is, if you want to know more, I'd love to hear back from you, DM me, whatever it happens to be. So I'd just like to practice that bit, because a strong call to action can make or break the message. So who wants to go with that bit? Okay, right, this could be some time. Who wants to go with that bit?
Okay, well, I'm in with both feet now, so here we go. My call to action is basically to try and get them to think of the planning. So
Is it?
it has to be something in the lines of, it comes around quicker than you think, DM me.
Yes.
That's because that's what I want to get across, because you think you've got all the time in the world, and before you know it, it's like D-Day. So I would say time waits for no one, or it comes across really, really quickly. Don't be caught unprepared. DM me.
Yeah. Okay. So that actually is a really relevant message about this will come around quicker than you know it. And another way of saying, I'm not saying it's any better, but an alternative way of saying that would be you can't speak to me too early.
I like that.
Thank you. I should be.
I like that.
Right. So you can't speak to me too early. Let's chat. It's never too early to chat. Something like that.
Yeah.
And therefore, DM me or drop me an email to this address or WhatsApp me or whatever it happens to be, whatever your preferred mode of communication is. But DM is probably best since you're on LinkedIn anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. And that. Well, now, Natalia, I don't want to leave you out. Is there anything? Do you want to?
In my job, I think there are a bit more, let's say, activities that I can help the people to. One will be the inflation and the savings that could be done now. Yeah, electric, gas, rent, and everything else.
Yep.
One will be acquiring a company in case of something happened. One will be a VAT inquiry in case of someone needs to, let's say, submit a VAT and do this kind of work. Another one will be a management in accounting and in inventory costings. So in general, for that, I said, mine is a big area of discussing. I cannot focus on just that or that. So it's something that it needs to be discussed depending on what is your needs.
I agree.
What are your needs?
I agree. But the point of this message is you can't be too broad. If you're too broad,
no.
you won't connect. So I would give them a maximum of 2 things. And we're almost in September now. So maybe some people are going to be thinking about their end of year accounts. Maybe, don't know.
On this time, most of the inquiries will be VAT and reducing costs because of the inflation.
So that's a very relevant. So if you want an accountant to go through your P&L, look at ways that you can save money, I would imagine that's a very relevant message to be giving at this point in time. So I would go with the VAT if you're grappling with VAT returns.
Yep.
Or you're doing
VAT depending. There are some of the companies they do it once in 3 months. There are some of them that they do it monthly. So that it's the main thing, and you don't want to upset HMRC.
Perfect wording.
I can vouch for that. Okay, good enough. Okay, so that's how we do it. And then therefore, if you're grappling with those 2 things, DM me. I've got 30 seconds left before I've got to get on to the next thing. Pete, sorry, I'm gonna have to I will send you a link to the recording there. Is there, okay, so we have the 5 seconds of opening with the body, and then we've got the 5 seconds of tailing. Now, wouldn't it be great, if you're not comfortable about posting this sort of online straight away, if you want to record it and then send me a link to the recording, I'm happy to give you some feedback for that. Pete, that goes to you as well. And I'll send you the recording of this just in case it kind of helps at all. And the message. Are there any questions just while we're on?
All good.
Okay, I have one question for you. In that I'm looking to plan for some material over the next 2, 3, 4 weeks. Is there anything, any specific subjects that you would like to know more about?
Killing the gatekeepers.
Did you say killing the gatekeepers?
Yes, killing them.
Okay, I will talk about how to get through, around, on top of, whatever. Yeah, I'll take that as a subject. Pete, anything from you?
I can't top that, I'm afraid. There's no deaths, no deaths required for me. I think what this is more relevant for me because we're not our business is not used to cold calling and reaching out to people. So
Yeah,
this to me would be more relevant. But yeah, gatekeepers, yeah, HR people particularly.
yes. Okay, got that. Thank you for the feedback. I'll put something together on that. It helps me as much as anything. Listen, a small group, but actually it works well for me. It works really, really well. So thank you for that. I'll when the laptop's done its thing, I'll send the file over to you. We can go from there. Chris, thank you for your input as well. Appreciate you've been doing this a little while yourself. So yeah, thanks for that. And Pete, welcome to the group. Have a brilliant rest of the day, everyone.
You too.
Take
Bye.
care.
Thanks.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.